guys, so if you're in this video, you want to get at least better at Ragdoll Rumble. So the first thing you're going to want to do is, I'm just going to play some gameplay while I tell you this. So, when I'm in a game, I'll at least become, like, one of the most yeets in the entire server. But, presuming you're a new player, you don't want to immediately go into the step. You just want to have a little practice with this first so you know what you're supposed to do and how you can do it, right? So once you've done that, go back to this video, right? The first thing I'd recommend is going on YouTube tutorials on how you can get some really good pickaxes. But if you just want to, you know, get a pickaxe and fast, I would recommend I would recommend, if you have some Robux at least, yeah, I would recommend buying a hammer instead of just going for it. And once you're better, you can go for an actual hammer. So once you've done that, you want to go for the newer players and the worst players at the game. Okay, that sounds offensive, but trust me, you want to go for the players like you who are just starting off and duel them just for practice. And once you've mastered doing that, occasionally now and then, go for the better players, the best in the server, and try and duel them. And if they go for you, just go for them and see how you do. Because at the end of your day, that you're trying to be good and you want to master all the good players in the server. Now, one of the techniques I give, is to go attack someone by launching at them. Then you immediately go back, and then, like, presuming you're on PC, that's gonna start working out. And now you want to go back to just practicing with the newer players. But once you've completely mastered it, you have to have completely mastered it. What you want to do is you want to go to the better players and fight them more. Because at the end of the day, you want to be a better player, right? And make sure everything I've said has been mastered before you actually go for another step. Then try and fight off, you know, 2 people at a time. This will be very difficult for you, presuming that you've only really just completely mastered everything I've told you. But eventually, if they don't have swords presuming they don't have swords that they're really good, really good with, a bit like people with these brain swords. Number 1, I've never seen these swords before, and number 2, I don't know how to get it. But the sword I have is still really good, okay? So then, once you have, do this with new players first, because that's gonna get you back into, you know, that I'm gonna fight off hordes. And it'll be very, very challenging. When I was learning how to play this game, I felt like that was the most challenging thing to do. Now, if you're in a particularly good server, like I'm in, because I'm usually like the second or even the first best, and when I first joined the server, I was like on top of everyone. But let's just ignore that. You want to start, you know, doing this all the time and really start practicing this game like I do with Geometry Dash. I'm not going to make a how to get good at Geometry Dash video because I'm not that good at the game. I haven't beaten my first Extreme Demon yet. And I'm really working onto it. And this is a quick intermission, but if you want to get good at that game, my advice is just to go for the ladder steps and stop playing easy demons if you keep playing easy demons. That's the best advice that I could give you because it's working for me so far. But I'm not going to make that video until, like, Slaughterhouse difficulty. But still. Yeah. So once you've mastered this, go for both new players and pro players at the same time. Now they will fight each other, but get them first. And I've fought off 3 people in a row before. Wow, these people are good. They all have the brain hammers. Those hammers are so good. Yeah, it takes a while to get used to a hammer. That's probably going to be one of the most difficult steps, and to find a hammer. Me playing with any hammer, to be fair, would be probably unfair to you watching if I really wanted to do like a showing. But yeah, everyone here is so good. They all have these brain hammers. I'm gonna look up how to get that one, to be fair. Yeah. I might actually get that one, but boy, so far. Now, if you're at the skill level of me already, you will have to know that you need to fight off now 3 people at the same time, like I've done today. And then, I recommend at this point, like, not really going for it, like pouring in too many hours, because that'll just stress you out and make you not want to play the game. But I recommend not worrying about where you are, okay, because that will ultimately get you better, and it doesn't matter what place you are on the 1, 2, 3. It's literally just you need to be good enough to be on there. And if you're there, I say start practicing a little more, taking now the steps, and then you should be good. Now, another thing I would recommend is, if presuming you've bought a hammer, you need to go get a good hammer that isn't money based. Because once you do that, you can get really good hammers like the brain hammers. And I recommend watching YouTube tutorials, and it will truly make you better than you are now. Like, trust me, these hammers are really good, and yeah. Now, one more thing. Do not use the dynamite, the jab, or the punch. These suck. These are absolutely just scams. Because new players would probably use that because their hammer is too weak, right? But, like, it doesn't matter. You're getting good at the game, and you need to get hammers. By doing this, you won't be able to get into the big leagues, like first, second, and first. Right? In your server, by the way. Like, as you can see, right, I've seen lots of new players been using the jab, the punch, and the dynamite. There's no point in using it, especially with the dynamite, because everyone will just run away, especially if you're aiming for one of the best players in the server, which is what people have done to me. I wouldn't call myself the best player in the server. I've just played a lot of this. But yeah. Also, the reason why thought I would be telling you all this is actually, if you want those limiteds that they give you, free limiteds. As you can see, I'm going for this one. And yeah, every single limited in this game is really good, okay? And you want to make those limiteds. But to do that, you're going to need to get good at this game. A bit like me. I'm not trying to toot my own horn here. I say that almost every video. But yeah, I really recommend this, because, like, if you get good at this game, you'll be able to take down every single player. Like, in the server. Like, eventually. And that's what all the good players in your server are doing, okay? You could be a really good player. You get, like, 3rd or 2nd or 1st. But you will be killed by some other player at one point. But don't feel disappointed. It doesn't mean you're just bad and you're not the best player in the server. It just means that we have slip-ups like me. Like, when I was in a really good server, I just had some slip-ups, like that. See? And I can understand your frustration if, you know, the best players are going for you, and then you just start raging. And if you see anyone with limiteds and you're not just at that skill level, turn the other way. It's not even worth your time, because that means they're really good because they have limiteds, and that means they're most likely the best player in the server, which you don't want to face off if you're just trying to, you know, like, get good. There's no point in doing that. You're trying to get good. You don't want to face off them immediately. And if you want to go for the ladder, okay, steps, don't just use the regular hammer, okay? Then you work your way up. Because if you do that, it will seem like more fair and everything. Like, it'll seem more fair to you, and you won't have as many struggles like I did. I would always go for the pros, thinking maybe one time I could get it. And then I really just learnt that you should not worry about the pro players when you're just starting off. You need to work on your hammers and fighting the newer players. Which seems like it would be unfair to those newer players, but you want to get good. And these players will eventually get good too. It's just a matter of time. And eventually, you could be making a video like this to your viewers. But I really hope this helped. I'm not like a really good player at this game, but I am decent. I'm pretty good. And this should teach you guys not to worry about being the best immediately and taking the gradual steps. Now, before I end this video off, I will explain a couple things. Like, in my story, I learned that you can get hammers very easily, like the newer ones. And so if you're going for the gradual steps, literally just use those. And don't really focus on getting newer hammers, because then you can fight off the players more easily instead of having to wait to do it. And which could save you a lot of time. Okay? And one other thing. It doesn't matter what hammer you have, okay? If it's the best hammer, you could still be pretty bad with it. It depends on what hammer you learn to use and you're really good with. Just remember, really good with. Don't just go into these steps with a hammer you're only decent at. And the matter of time shows that, like, really, just go for every player in the server once you're up to this step. Because, like, that will get you more yeets and really better at the game. Like, this game is about competition, okay? But you can't do that competition if you can't play the game. And once you're like good, like me, like you want to start fighting pretty much every player on the server. Unless you have the hammer like me and you're good with this hammer like me, and then you have someone with that brain hammer. Because that hammer is just overpowered. I wouldn't worry about them, because they're just really good at the game. Like, really good. So, yeah. And also, it doesn't matter if the pros are killing you, okay? They're pros, and they're trying to get yeets, and also they're really good. And they don't know if you're a new player. But even if they did, they wouldn't care. They just worry about themselves getting all the wins. And so, which is why you need to avoid some people, but go for others. And once you get one of those limiteds, it will feel worth it in the end. All the steps you took. And if you're finally good at one game, I wouldn't give up in this game. This game is really fun. Get every single limited, get all the hammers you can, and eventually get really good at the game. Like, it's like saying that you'll get £1 million in the Olympics and you'll be really good, but then doing that and then just wasting all your time by just giving up. Like, if you're up to this point and you practice so much, you shouldn't. It's better if you just keep playing because, that. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!